For the longest time, I completely took the internet for granted. It just worked. You type in a web address, you hit enter, and like magic, a website appears. But then one day I was fiddling with a small project, and the guide said to connect to the server. And I just stopped. It hit me that I had absolutely no real idea what a server was. It was just this fuzzy, abstract concept. And that one little question sent me down this amazing rabbit hole, and what I found was honestly way cooler than magic. So that's our big question for today. What is a server, really? Not the version you see in movies with blinking lights, but the actual thing that makes almost everything you do online possible. We're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how it all fits together. Ready? Let's dive in. Okay, so the easiest way to wrap your head around this whole thing is with what's called the client/server model. Just picture a classic 24/7 diner. That diner, that's our server. It's just sitting there, lights on, coffee brewing, ready and waiting for someone to show up. You, at home getting hungry, you're the client. You decide you want a cheeseburger. You head to the diner and you make a request. And at its heart, that's really all a server is. It's not some mythical piece of hardware. It's just a program. It's a piece of software, and its entire job in life is to follow these 4 simple steps over and over again. It listens, it accepts, it gets a request, and it sends back a response. That's it. It's just a super patient program waiting for a client like your web browser to come knocking. Okay, so if the server is just a program that's waiting, how do we actually talk to it? Well, computers need to have a very specific set of rules, a shared language called a protocol to communicate. And for our program, our web browser, to even start a conversation, it needs a way to talk to the world outside your computer. And it gets this from your computer's operating system. It gets something called a socket. The best way to think about a socket is like a door. Your computer has literally tens of thousands of these potential doors, all numbered. So when your browser wants to visit a website, the OS opens up one of these doors, a socket, and says, okay, you can use the specific door to send and receive all your messages for this one conversation. Right. Good question. So we've got our door, the socket, and we have a message we want to send out. But the internet is, well, it's kind of wild out there. It breaks our message up into little tiny pieces called packets. So how on earth do we make sure all those little pieces get to the right server in the right order without anything getting lost or scrambled along the way? Well, this is where it gets really clever. Let's say this is our message. This is a super basic HTTP request. It's the fundamental language of the web. It's really just a plain line of text that asks the server to get its main homepage. This is what our browser wants to send. So before that message goes anywhere, your operating system takes it and wraps it up in a TCP header. You can think of this as the first very special envelope. The whole job of TCP is reliability. It adds information to make sure every single packet arrives, and it numbers them so they can be put back together in the correct order. It's like numbering the pages of a letter before you mail it. But it doesn't stop there. Next, the OS takes that whole TCP envelope and puts it inside another envelope, an IP, or Internet Protocol header. This is the mailing address. This IP envelope has the source and destination IP addresses, basically the from and to addresses, so all the routers on the internet know exactly where to send this packet. And then, for the last leg of the journey inside your own network, the whole packet gets handed off to your network hardware, your Wi-Fi card or your Ethernet port. And that hardware wraps everything in one final envelope, an Ethernet header. This one's just for the local trip, like getting the packet from your laptop to your home router so it can start its big journey. And this is the big aha moment. Our original simple text message, get/w, is still there. It's just buried deep inside all these layers, kind of like a Russian nesting doll. Each layer adds its own bit of information and provides a service to the layer above it. Then, when the packet arrives at the server, the whole process just happens in reverse. Each envelope gets unwrapped, one by one, until the original message is revealed. It's so elegant. All right, so that's all the theory. And theory is cool, but you know what's even cooler? Seeing it actually work. It turns out it is shockingly simple to write a basic web server that does everything we just talked about. So let's do it. Let's build one right now. Our server program has a very simple to-do list, just 5 steps. First, it asks the OS for a socket, our door. Then, it has to bind to that door, which is like putting a sign on it saying, the web server lives here, at this specific port number. Third, it just listens for anyone to knock.
When a browser connects, it accepts the connection, and finally, it sends back its reply. That's the entire job description.
Okay, moment of truth. I have a really simple Python script here, taken right from Beej's guide that does those 5 steps. All I'm going to do is run this one command in my terminal. This tells the program, webserver.py, to start up and begin listening on port 28333. And right now, it's running. It's just sitting there, waiting. It is officially a server.
And now for the magic. I just open a regular web browser, go to my own computer's address at that specific port, and there it is. Hello, world. The message from our tiny Python script is right there in the browser. What is just so mind-blowing about this is that a real professional web browser is having a totally normal conversation with our few lines of code. We are, for all intents and purposes, on the web.
Now, as amazing as that feels, I do have to be honest with you. Our little server is not quite ready to handle Netflix's traffic. There are a few minor differences between our Hello World server and a massive system that runs a global service. So let's just quickly break down what those are.
Okay, so the biggest difference is that our server can only talk to one person at a time. The second it accepts a connection, it blocks, which means it's totally busy and can't answer any other calls until it's done. A real-world server can handle millions of connections at the same time. Ours only sends one single hard-coded message. A real server can find and send any type of file. And of course, there's security and reliability. We have none. A real server has firewalls, encryption, and tons of code to handle errors gracefully so it doesn't just crash.
But here's the really important thing. Every single one of those giant, complex, real-world systems started with the exact same fundamentals we just walked through. They all come back to those 5 steps: create, bind, listen, accept, send. They all use that same Russian doll of protocols. The difference isn't magic, it's just adding more and more layers of complexity on top of that same solid foundation. And now, you understand that foundation. So here's your mission if you choose to accept it. I seriously want you to try this. It'll only take a few minutes. First, grab the example code from Chapter 5 of Beej's guide. Second, run it in your own terminal. Third, open your web browser and see it for yourself. And fourth, and this is the most important part, open up that code file and change the message. Make it say something completely different. That's how you go from just understanding something to actually creating with it. And this is where the fun really starts. The entire web, everything is built on these simple conversations. Now that you know the secret language, what's the first thing you're going to say? This video is generated with Google's Notebook LM, based on cited resources and for reference only. Take this further. I'm genuinely excited to see what you discover. If you have topics you'd like to see covered, let me know in the comments. Leave a rating, and hey, subscribe if you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Until next time.